Funny dog.
I was running today.
Okay, we're live. Oh, let's get the music going.
Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna. Maybe come a little closer here. Get in the camera. Hare Krishna. There you go. Got everybody in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I wanted to share. It just stopped it because I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just let me get it back again. Here we go.
It recorded us?
No,
All right.
it's just stuff, just, I'm trying to advertise to friends.
See. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. So let's just chant until I get this done.
Yeah,
Hare
okay.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Where's your book?
Okay, the book.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna. Anybody wants to come on, you can come on. The link's there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare. Oh, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, it's a spiritual thing. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let's have another tune here. Let's try a little music rap. Let's see. Let's try that out. See how that works. Usually I have a copyright problem, but well, we'll see what happens. All right. Freestyle rap. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Taking the beat.
Yeah, I got a lot of nice ones like this. Unfortunately, they're usually copyrighted.
Happy.
Copyrighted. Hey, Amy, welcome.
Hey. Sorry.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama. Sorry, I got confused because she got confused, so we got all confused. Okay, again. Hare Krishna.
Mistakes are okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
It's like both of them. You for the red one.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sorry,
Hare Krishna. It's
I'm on
okay.
top of you.
It's okay.
It's just a little
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Few comments.
Is this a new one? It's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
You want to keep chanting or you want to read something?
Whatever you want. We're putting us right here.
Let's take a vote.
Let's take a vote. You want to chant or you want to read?
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Let's leave it
vote.
up to our audience.
Okay, Tuka says hi too. Tuka, Amy, and River, yeah, Mona in bed. Do we want to read or chant?
Amy says read.
Read.
Okay.
Okay,
All
good.
right. Okay, so we'll read something. Let's see.
Okay, good.
So we can read
It's
on.
Kitty's turn, right?
Well, whoever wants to read,
Okay.
if you want to, she wants to read, you can read. Yeah.
Her accent is much better than my own. Oh, it's nice to read.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get that science of self-realization again. That was a good one. Let's see this package here.
Are you waiting for bucket?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. DHL takes the longest time. Okay, so we need here database. There we go. Mhm. So this book is this author is you heard of A.C. Prabhupada? No? Okay, he was an Indian philosopher and teacher and guru. And he brought these wonderful books that explain really hidden things, very secret things about the universe in a very simple way, practical way, in with a Vedic cultural spin on things, which really kind of can add a lot to our society and dealings. All right, so the database. Okay.
Can we continue with
We'll
the
continue
last
with
one?
that. Yeah.
We
Can do
were
that.
in
Yeah,
the
he wrote all.
self-realization.
I'll show you how many books he wrote. These are, oops. Okay, here's the Bhagavatam, but look how many books are there. These are all books. So many books. And this is the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Also was 3 volumes. It's huge.
You read them all?
Yeah, I love these books. Yeah, so this knowledge is so deep and so different than anything.
Yeah.
It's just it reveals the mysteries of the universe. It's just amazing. Yeah. Especially when you start chanting, you get purified this chanting, and you can start to understand these deep subjects. All right, so we're on chapter 1. I don't think we.
I think we
Did we finish
at the
it?
end.
Almost at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go towards the end.
Well, we are given this form of life. We
Okay.
didn't get that far,
Okay. You
so
wanna
we
read
can
it?
start there.
Sure.
Okay. It's just too bright for it. I can lower the screen lighting for you.
Oh, that's fine. We are given this human form of life not just to work hard like the swine or dog, but to attain the highest perfection of life. If we do not want that perfection, then we have to work very hard, for we will be forced by the laws of nature. In the closing days of Kali Yuga, this present age, men will have to work hard like asses only for a scrap of bread. This process has already begun, and every year the necessity for harder work for lesser wages will increase.
Yeah, you
That's-
notice that? It's really,
terrible.
yeah.
that's
This was
really
written
terrible.
in 1965. He wrote these
Oh,
books.
oh.
And because he was seeing also this Kali Yuga is in these devotional books, a very ancient understanding of the different yugas and time frames. And this is a dark one. But within this dark yuga is light, is truth. And it's amazing. Because when you're in this truth, like this simple chanting, it changes your life. I mean, I have so many testimonies from people watching here that have been with me for like 5 years. And it's just amazing because it makes everything, it switches from everything being really hard things become easier and easier.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it's just a miracle.
Yeah.
And basically what it is, the Christians have a bit of an idea about, they talk about where Jesus forgives your sins and you lose your karmic debt, basically. But this chanting does that. It takes your karma away, and then you got a free slate, and then you just develop your spiritual relationship. And everything becomes like it's supposed to be, because we're spirit and we're supposed to be abundant,
Yeah.
and free and sovereign and all that. All this stuff we see, that all these limitations and difficulties, all this is because most people are disconnected from spirit. Their own spirit and the supreme spirit, which we're all connected to. So, and they don't know. They just don't have information about it. No, hey, man.
It's a little bit sticky.
Hey, yeah, I don't mind either.
It's good.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
let's continue.
Yet human beings are not meant to work hard like animals, and if a man fails to discharge his duties as a human being, he is forced to transmigrate to the lower species of life by the laws of nature. In the Bhagavad Gita,
What do you think about that? Transmigrate to the
I
lower
mean,
species.
yeah,
Is that? Did you ever think about that? It's a possibility.
it's pretty
No.
true. I mean, we are like how many centuries after this, and this is what is happening.
Well, this is Bhagavad Gita talks about the three modes of nature, and these are the energies. And when you understand this knowledge, you can look at everybody and you can see like what mode is predominating in their lives. Like if you see people in the cities, they're really passionate. It's called mode of passion. They like cities. They like always working, moving around, doing stuff and building things and all that stuff. And so mode of passion. Then ignorance, I was telling you before, the people that, like usually they're street people that are, they don't take care of themselves. Maybe they just can't deal with society, or, they can't fit in, and so they just kind of give up, drinking all the time. And you see a lot of people, alcoholics,
right?
or even people, they're out there buying like bottles. I can't believe how many bottles of beer they buy. Some of these people, they drink, and so anyway, it's just mode of ignorance. And so if you do a lot of that, and some people don't take care of themselves, animals take care of themselves better. So you can actually be qualified for a lower species body if that's the way you use your life. So a lot of people just don't have this information. People are in different modes of nature. That's why I love these books, because it exposes all things, and then you've got some knowledge, you can work with it and make your life better, easier, more productive.
Sí, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing everything. I just let everything come. I don't, meditate on anything, past, present. I don't even meditate on the present. I meditate on Krishna and His name, and that is supreme meditation, because that's where you really magnetize all amazing things. It's the God principle, the God force, or whatever you want to call this God that nobody knows. So we're all connected to it, source. And if you can reestablish that connection, then it's like Tesla stuff. Tesla, he had all that free energy. This is even better. This is even better. Everything becomes really wonderful. That's what I'm noticing in my own life, and I'm getting testimonies too. People who come
And you're getting mine. But you've seen the changes.
Oh yeah, look, even her, just a week.
In 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks?
Or 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know more than 2.
Well, no. What? We are entering the 3rd week, no?
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay, basta. Vení, gorda.
Oh, look, somebody else.
Vicky. She wants the little tail she has. Pobrecita. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
the Bhagavad Gita very vividly describes how a spirit soul, by the laws of nature, takes his birth and gets a suitable body and sense organs for enjoying matter in the material world. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also stated that those who attempt but do not complete the path of approaching God, in other words, those who have failed to achieve complete success in Krishna consciousness, are given the chance to appear in the families of the spiritually advanced or in financially well-to-do mercantile families.
Now, his preaching is toward this Krishna consciousness, but in the universally, it's God conscious, truth consciousness, source consciousness. They're different names. Like the American Indians called the source the Great Spirit, and others called Christ. So people have different names for it, but for the same experience, and it's unusual. It's we make progress in this connection. It stays with you. Everything else in the world, if you develop everything, like your life here and everything, that's finished. Notice gold stays here. You get all this gold and everything when you die. It stays here. But this consciousness, this developing this spiritual awareness of who we are in our relationship to Source, it goes with you, even into your next life, if you have one in the material world, because you could actually finish this. Yeah, many of my friends and students, they're already finished. You could have the symptoms of living a liberated existence.
That's
Already in just like sometimes months or a few years. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, this knowledge is so important. It's not only knowledge; it's feeling, it's ecstasy of that. That understanding. It's amazing. It's a spiritual level of consciousness and bringing it into this world in a practical way. It's amazing. Yeah. Great.
Okay. If the unsuccessful spiritual aspirants are offered such a chance of noble parentage, what of those who have actually attained the required success?
Yeah, and most of his students haven't attained the required success, but the ones that I have, many of them have acquired success. And it's all because this is a succession. Like, I'm connected with him, and it's this progressive. And so he built a foundation for this understanding, like wrote all these books, printed them, distributed them. And we take this information and everything and make it work, and apply it to people's lives. I mean, a lot of people he still has students. A lot of people are involved in his work and his successors, but they're just kind of carrying on. They're not really bringing anything really, deep. But this here, what we're doing is bring it to the success level, the completion level, where you actually experience spiritual consciousness and transformations and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Therefore, an attempt to go back to Godhead, even if half finished, guarantees a good birth in the next life.
And that's what they were teaching and still teaching. Oh, you can only half finish this process. Many of these teachers and gurus, you can only half it. It'll be many lifetimes before you can finish it, before you get the ultimate. And people are getting the ultimate now because this is a progressive situation. And it's great. It's really wonderful to see people complete the spiritual process. Where you the completion is basically your spirit is awakened and you're communing with Source. Now you're connected to this, the electricity, and we're the powerhouse, and then everything just starts to just light up in your life, and you start lighting other people's lives up. They see there's something special. Especially when they chant with you, just like you mentioned, the next day you felt really good.
Yeah.
And it just progressive.
The same day. To me, the same day. It just it makes my day.
Yeah, and it gets better. You get more aware of what it's doing, and you actually see, when you chant, you're actually bringing in that Source consciousness into your life, into the world.
Yeah.
And that vibration starts to emanate and change things, starts to pave a wonderful path. Yeah.
She's going to sleep well.
Yeah, it's late for these guys. It's amazing they're here. 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock.
Amy is the same time as us.
Yeah, Amy,
Yeah.
same time.
And Tuka.
Tuka, same time.
It's like me when I wake up at 4.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But lately, I don't even hear the noise of my alarm. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
See,
Both the spiritual and the financially well-to-do families are beneficial for spiritual progress because in both families, one can get a good chance to make further progress from the point where he stopped in his previous birth. In spiritual realization, the atmosphere generated by a good family is favorable for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge.
You know, his preaching was like that.
happen.
It was, hey man, let's get this going, and it'll be great because you'll probably have a good family in your next life just because you're starting your spiritual journey. And it's like, I got an order from an instruction from him in a lucid dream to help people complete this process. And it's like, that was kind of like an introduction. And if you stay on that level and that path, it's slow. It will be like, in your next life, you get a little better thing. And then, and you'd stay in rituals and, like external worship and, is it like that? Here, what we're doing is all internal. We just start to relish this bliss. This deep spiritual ecstasy begins to awaken and develop in our hearts, and deep esoteric understanding. So we're taking it all the way here. And see, there's a little controversy between our group and all of them, every one of them, because they're on that slow thing. They're still, we're working on our karma to dissolve our karma. People come here, your karma goes like that. And you can feel it. You can look at even the videos of people. You see their transformations because we have video now. You can see what they've done in the last year, 2 years, and how they've changed. Literally, their karma is like God. They're just ecstatic most of the time, and bliss. Oh, we don't need that anymore. Oh, it's done. Okay, yeah, they're blissed most of the time and steady in this. And so it's so nice to have this to finish something in one life.
I know.
And not this big long process.
I know.
That's why I like to make a few comments, because a lot of people, they read this and they think that, it's going to be so many lifetimes. You gotta get a good family and everything. Here, people they go beyond having just a good family. Yeah, turn that one. Yeah. You get a transcendental awakening now. And then what we've got now is actually a spiritual family. This is better than having a good, wealthy family and all that. We're wealthy in this bhakti, what's called bhakti, this devotional energy, this knowledge. This is actually real wealth. People don't know real wealth. They think it's money and all that stuff. Real wealth is real knowledge, deep knowledge and deep feelings. Great, feeling good. I mean, feeling better than good. Transcendental terms like ecstasy, rapture, revelations. Instead of just having knowledge, you got revelations, like deep things, things that like are new, even that people don't know. And it's just, to me, that's wealth, and that's what I share and teach people. Try to get them, to understand what real wealth is, because everybody is. We're taught external to be external. We're taught to be manipulated. People are manipulating everybody with their minds. A little stronger mind or a little clever person. They're manipulating people that are weaker. Might is right and all that stuff. And this puts you in a whole other consciousness. If you see somebody that's weak, you can help make them strong. Because we all have it in us. But people in the world, that's why we have the world like this. People are selfish, and they're still kind of animalistic. These people that are in charge of our world and our country are like more or less like animals in a sense. It's like the survival of the fittest. If they're stronger, they just want to make you a slave. I mean, that's what they're kind of doing now, making people slaves, tricking them, all these social security systems and everything. They get you to sign away your sovereignty,
I know.
make you identify with the body that you're this thing. This is just a house for our soul, temporary thing, and we're actually free and sovereign. And the thing is, you have to realize that personally. You have to be in your spirit and know, and that's how we get our sovereignty. And we need more of that, more teachers like that, because otherwise people are getting more and more limited. You notice we get more limitations on everything.
Yeah.
Everything's getting more surveilled. It's getting like very dystopian. But this is really the medicine. This can turn everything around for everybody, even the ones who are trying to enact this stuff. This will change their hearts. A lot of people, they do all that stuff because they're afraid. They're afraid of losing control. They want more control because they're control freaks, psychopaths. All that stuff is actually mental illness. And I don't know, I'm just saying, it looks like they're teaching people to be mentally ill. They think that's good. It's kind of looks like people like a little bit ill, doing crazy things, wearing masks in fresh air, and thinking it's a good thing,
You mean the shop?
Yeah, in the shop. So you got to take your temperature every time you go to the shop. People, it's kind of freaky. It's like, what are you afraid of, man? What don't you see? People don't trust nature anymore. See? Like these Bill Gates, he doesn't. I mean, it's so obvious. He doesn't trust nature. He doesn't trust. No, you got to get injections. You got to do that because all this fear mongering. And I mean, it's like being led by crazy people, insane psychopaths. And anyway, you can get internal freedom from that. And because when you're feeling good, you don't feel like them. Your vibration changes. Yeah, I don't feel like I feel sorry for the guy. These people are very miserable, miserly and miserable, and they don't even believe that there is some kind of central source. They think they're it. They're like gods in this world, and because of that, they don't trust nature. They're trying to do artificial things. Everything they're trying to do personally, I'm already developing internally. They want to be immortal. They want to put their consciousness in these androids or something.
Yeah.
My consciousness, is just being in this. You become immortal. You break the bonds of birth and death. Their little robot bodies don't have any feelings. The AI. Look at it here. You have a spiritual body with spiritual feelings, ecstatic, rapturous, and full of deep revelation knowledge that goes with you. It's amazing. So everything everybody's trying to do artificially, you could do organically and naturally, just in this process. This actually, if you trace this process all the way back, it actually comes from these kinds of self-realized, elevated persons. And they bring it in a disciplic line for us to benefit from. Otherwise, it's very hard to get this kind of knowledge. It's very deep. Yeah, go ahead.
The Bhagavad Gita reminds us such fortunate, well-born persons that their good fortune is due to their past devotional activities. Unfortunately, the children of these families do not consult the Bhagavad Gita, being misguided by Maya.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like if you were in India. Have you been to India?
Many times.
Many times, yeah. In India, a lot of Indians, they have access to this knowledge, but they don't believe it anymore. They're misguided by science. A lot of them have given it up, and they don't believe in their parents. A lot of their parents still believe in grandparents, believe in this kind of knowledge, but the later generations believe more in science, and they're kind of, they think it's kind of stories and fairy tales, and they got more of a scientific approach now. And that's just the Kali Yuga. It's like that. As people get more and more away from nature and more into hard pragmatic science. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it's not even science. This stuff they're promoting things that are not really scientific, and they say it's science. Follow the science. You ever heard that? What baloney is that? One lady says, I was listening today. He said, we heard their studies. The studies say, and they call this that the unvaccinated are contaminating the vaccinated. And I said, that is the holy crock. It's completely the opposite. And they're promoting that. And they make it true because you can't put the other opinion there. That's the only one that can put it.
And that's how they
What kind of
brainwash
science
the
is
whole
that?
world.
Yeah, they're brainwashing the whole
not
world.
science, is it?
It's not science at
terrible.
all. See, these are our leaders, and they can do what they want with the world and destroy it, and that's what they're doing. They want to destroy everything, and they want to make people crazy, and literally. And if you're saying they want to call you crazy, this is all part of this has all been done before, and recently in the Nazis, the communists. If you say anything that's a little intelligent, they'd say, well, this is really insane. Let's take you to the doctor.
I know that's
No, these people that are brainwashed,
Yeah.
they're saying it's like everything is opposite, inverted. I mean, that's why there are many suicides now, because everything is crazy. And people are going crazy, literally, because it's like, how do you function in a society like that? And teaching children about horrible pedophilia, that's okay, and amazing, unbelievable what they're
They
teaching
teach
schools.
them that that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pedophilia, that's natural now. They have a lot of stuff they're teaching, and they're showing.
It's so evil.
It is so evil, the whole thing. So anyway, the evil are in charge. So anyway, it's so nice if you have some elevation in consciousness above that. It won't get you down. People get down because they don't have stuff like that. They don't have an elevated perspective. And when you can see why these people do what they do, then you're not under it. See, the thing is, that's how they've always worked in the shadows. The evil works in the shadows. See, but that's even coming out now. The evil's coming out of the shadows, and still people are like, can't see it. A lot of people can't see it.
Amazing.
Yeah, but some do. A lot of some kind of more awareness is coming.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I think the new generation there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the new generation being conditioned.
The
a lot
problem
of
is
it.
they're conditioned through the parents, but then when they are away from the parents, like when they pass a teenager, they can bring the awareness again back to their body, right? Like it happened.
Well, I don't know. This lately, what I've been researching is they've been planning this for a few generations now, and implanting it in schools to brainwash kids. Because I'm amazed how a lot of them are wearing masks on the street. Also, they're not thinking of it; they're just programmed or something. Just and they're I'm surprised too, because a lot of them are these nature people. They have long hair. And they're into saving the planet and all that, and they're all like. So that's the school. That must have been some kind of condition they went through, in schools. I mean, I'm an older person, so I didn't. And I quit school when I was like, even before high school. I didn't even go to high school, so I missed a lot of conditions.
But those days, you wouldn't get so.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad.
It wasn't so bad when I went to school.
Yeah, maybe you missed it too. But the millennials.
The millennials.
Yeah, the ones in their 30s.
Yeah,
and early 40s.
30s. Yeah.
They got a lot of injections too.
I was just thinking that.
And they keep on getting a new booster shot.
Oh,
Booster of the booster.
That's
Right. and people do believe in that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it's weird time we're living in, but also a great time for advancing spiritually.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of stuff can help everybody. That's what I like about it. I don't like it's gotten. I don't have any hate towards anybody. That's amazing. I don't hate the people doing these things. I don't hate the people. It's like everybody. It just comes out of your heart, and you get a way to help everyone, even them. Because everybody wants to be happy, really, inside. They just, they have a different ways of going about it, and sometimes it's not really a good way, but they think it's a good way. Or it's even selfishness. People think, well, I got to be selfish, otherwise I won't be happy. We got to, control everything, otherwise we won't be happy. You can't. It's just anyway. All kinds of consciousness, in this world. All right, go ahead. Little side conversation here.
Birth in a well-to-do family solves the problem of having to find sufficient food from the beginning of life, and later a comparatively easier and more comfortable way of life can be led. Being so situated, one has a good chance to make progress in spiritual realization. But as ill luck would have it, due to the influence of the present Iron Age, which is full of machines and mechanical people.
Oh, he's already started that.
Birth in a well-to-do family solves the problem of having to find sufficient.
Oops.
That's
That wasn't my voice.
It's
But as ill luck would have it, due to the influence of the present Iron Age, which is full of machines and mechanical people, the sons of the wealthy are misguided for sense enjoyment, and they forget the good chance that they have for spiritual enlightenment.
and it happens to every person that is being born in wealth. So the opposite happens. It's not actually.
Well, we need the education like this kind of a spirit. Understand, hey, you have a spirit. You need to awaken it. You need to cultivate that. People, they get education only on the level of maybe their mind and their body, survival, and how to make a living, and the spirit area is untouched, except in religion, and religion doesn't really do that good a job either, because it's often full of motives and leaders or control. Also, control is in there. It's just maybe a step up from politics, and then there's politics and religion too. So if you're lucky, you find somebody spirit-filled that actually has a connection with the source.
Those
in
people
religion.
don't have children.
Yeah.
So they don't pass it on to the.
Well, they may have children.
You do have a child, right? You have Amy.
Yeah, I have a child.
Okay. See, but you see, some of us don't, so we don't pass on.
I have children.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you have us.
Well, you see you can actually what do you call birth people. You bring them to the spiritual level, and it's just like that. I mean, I'm like a teacher and a guru, and the people that I woke up. They weren't much. Some were just barely awake, or maybe just a little bit. But now they're awake, they're spirit, and they feel like, oh, wow, you're like my father, spiritual father. And it's right. I mean, it's meant to, this disciplic line is meant to be like that. One person, it's like a Big Brother thing. The Big Brother of George Orwell 1984 thing. Well, that's the opposite. See, the opposite is the government. George Orwell 1984 Big Brother. It's all programming, it's all manipulation, all that. But we're meant to have a spiritual Big Brother who's maybe more advanced and awakened. And they actually are not like that Big Brother, because they actually want your welfare. They actually want you to wake up. They want you to be like them. See, not like Big Brother. The government is full of selfishness. See, this is a whole thing. I mean, this is an amazing topic called Maya. I mean, if everybody stays around, we'll go into this, and you'll be fascinated how Maya works. Maya is the shadow of the truth. The shadow is like there's a Big Brother in the government and everything. That's for people who don't have spiritual awakening. So I'm here in my teaching here is to help people come to the awakening where you have Big Brother, but you have not only like me as a teacher, living teacher, but we have Big Brother in these books. This knowledge is coming down from Big Brother, big spiritual brother. These people have our good interest in mind. They don't want to manipulate it. They want to free us in truth. Okay? So this is the whole thing. And this is what's not taught usually in schools. And it's not even taught that much in religion because there's still an element of control there. They want to control you. Yeah. So this is kind of like a Jesus thing where, Jesus said to the Lord God is looking for worship in spirit and in truth. That's what we do. We worship, meditate. Worship means meditate. We meditate on truth and spirit. Spirit is the divine emotions, the feelings. It's great. I mean, it's wonderful. And we're built like that because there's another topic called jiva. Jiva means the soul. And so we are actually meant, we're going to either serve Big Brother in the institutions and the government, or Big Brothers in spiritual life help us with our awakening and development. And then we become Big Brothers for others. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a perfect thing. It's the way it's meant to be. That actually we live for the welfare of others truly. Not with material motives. When when you tapped into source, you found the source of real wealth.
So
So,
what,
yeah.
I'm going to be just 1
Oh
minute.
yeah, sure,
The vaccine.
yeah. Go ahead. So,
But it's for my dog. It's not for me.
yeah, speaking for the vaccine, the dog. We're going to get the vaccinated dog. COVID-19 vaccine. No. Rabies vaccine. Yeah, we don't want that dog. There's no danger for that dog. He's a licker, not a biter. Well, he bites too. Yeah, you put your hand out there and bite it.
Yeah.
He thinks it's play. Yeah, go ahead.
Therefore, by nature, by her laws, is setting fires in these golden homes. It was the golden city of Lanka under the regime of demonic Ravana that was burned to ashes. This is the law of nature. The Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of the transcendental science of Krishna consciousness, and it is the duty of all responsible heads of states to chalk out their economic and other programs by referring to the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, and so Prabhupada was an idealist. He just said, hey man, if this was in society and taught in society, and you chalk out your economic programs and everything according to the Vedas, which is really high knowledge, very deep knowledge, everything would be beautiful and would work really nice. There were times when this had been done in the spiritual histories. There were kings, really great kings, and they ran their kingdoms by spiritual principles, and everything was beautiful. The citizens loved the government. They loved their king. They gladly paid taxes because the taxes were well used. Not like now. I mean, look at it now. We have government. They squander our tax. They employ people like Biden and Pelosi. We have see how practical. I mean, we have the FBI that works against the people. They go and they go to the mothers. It's like can you imagine our taxes are going towards the FBIs and the CIAs that do nothing but want to hurt us? It's unbelievable. I mean, what they're doing, they do these chemtrails to poison people. They put fluoride in the water, and they get us to destroy ourselves. We got to, pay the taxes for them to do it. We pay them to do all these weird. I mean, isn't that what they're doing? They get the dentist to put mercury in our fillings. All kinds of stuff, and garbage and GMOs and everything, and we're paying the bill for it. And that's just the way the world is. That's what happens when you serve the illusion. See? But again, we can turn this all around, and by just teaching of course, the government's not going to do this now. But we can do this amongst ourselves. We can teach people spiritual knowledge. I love doing this. I love sharing this knowledge and changing. It's like think globally, but work locally. See? But actually, we're doing a little bit of both because we're working locally, but also working globally with the internet, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Zuckerberg. That's a good thing. Get you some service. This is the good thing. So we use it for reaching people all over the world, and so that they can be educated. A lot of people I haven't even met that are coming here,
Mhm.
and they're having spiritual experiences. Their whole lives are changing just from the show that we're doing here. It's amazing. We got testimony. We got a whole a page with all these testimonies of people. Say, "Oh, this has changed my life. This is from this chanting and this knowledge." I'm just like fulfilling the dream of the disciplic line is to help humanity. And with it, we need knowledge. We need this knowledge. We need to know we're spirit, man. And otherwise, everybody is getting more bodily identified. They think I'm body. I'm my material mind. All these things, people dwelling on the past and on things and stuff, and they're wearing themselves out. I say, people are tired, just from their meditation. But if you meditate on that which is spirit and spiritual, you get endless life every day. I show every day. I do these programs, 3-4 hours in the morning, and then all during the day we're doing like 3 or 4 programs. Just and chanting on the streets, just more energy, more life, more awareness, more. I mean, after a while, you see, hey man, everything else is reduced. You just don't care to do the things that people are spending all of their lives doing. This is more energy, more life, more happiness. It's spirit. It's all spirit. That's what Jesus came to teach. The power of the spirit. The glory of the spirit, and that is a lot of that has been lost because it's 2,000 years later, and a lot of materialistic people got in religion and made Jesus a religion. He came to free us of religion. The real Jesus. I love teaching about the real Jesus. If you teach about the real spirit, you're teaching the real Jesus. I teach what he taught. Not all this. Cut it up and controlling people. Free people, man. It's about setting people free. It's so wonderful to see people free. And the crippled healed. People are crippled. People think all these healings Jesus did was all about the body getting. Oh, I can move. No, everybody is crippled when you don't have real knowledge, and your feelings are material and weighing you down. And all the heavy karma and everything. Cripple-minded, our minds are crippled, weak. But this is all about, just level the whole thing, get rid of all this garbage. Something to think about.
We're not meant to solve economic questions of life by balancing on a tottering platform. Rather, we are meant to solve the ultimate problems of life, which arise due to the laws of nature. Civilization is static unless there is spiritual movement. The soul moves the body, and the living body moves the world. We are concerned about the body, but we have no knowledge of the spirit that is moving that body. Without the spirit, the body is motionless or dead.
Yeah.
Read that. Yes.
Well, that's good. It's good. It's good for her. Yeah. Yeah. So, and so, okay, the spirit moves the body, but actually, a lot of people are not in touch with their real spirit. They're in touch with what's called the modes of nature, and that's moving their body. No. Yeah, people are in touch with the modes of nature, and the modes of nature are moving their bodies. So the modes of nature, the passionate energy, the ignorant energy, or this good energy. And so people are acting because of these modes. And that's not even the real spirit yet. That's the what do you call the material spirit. The spirit is spiritual. And that's when you start chanting more, you start feeling that this is spirit, and you're connecting with chanting, which is the source. It's a representation of source here. Then you get this new enlivenment that's spiritual, and it's completely different. It's a revolution in your life. You're like, whoa, what is this new energy? This new love, the new life. And this motivates you in a unique way, in a better way, more efficient way, more clear way. You become more clear, more logical, more intelligent, and more ecstatic. More, your feelings are up level to spirit level. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of this stuff here. We're bringing his work to another level here, which actually I got that in the dream. And he said, yeah. Has my full approval what you're doing, which was this here, and do more of that. And he said three things. He said, doing exactly what I want you to do. This has my full approval, and you do more of this. Because I always thought of him as like my big brother, my master, my teacher. And he showed that he accepted this, even came in that dream. And everything since that time, I had some tests because I fell off the path a few times trying to figure out, well, maybe, I got a test and something, and so I went into other directions, everything. But every time I got back, it just gets, and now it's steady on it, it just gets more and more amazing, Yeah, because I cleared all that stuff away. We all got to learn, learn this and that. I went to Jesus completely before, back and forth a few times, and then I went to other teachers who claimed to be this and that, and big brothers, but they weren't really big brothers to me. There's a lot of illusions going on. A lot of people claiming to be this and that, but they're not really this or that. Yeah, go ahead.
The human body is an excellent vehicle by which we can reach eternal life. It is a rare and very important boat for crossing over the ocean of nescience, which is material existence. On this boat, there is the service of an expert boatman, the spiritual master. By divine grace, the boat plies the water in a favorable wind. With all these auspicious factors, who would not take the opportunity to cross the ocean of nescience?
That's the whole thing. When you get a real spiritual master, you start operating on this level of grace. You start to see what grace is. Nobody usually knows. It's very rare to understand what grace is. Grace is an energy. It's a spiritual energy that is spirit, is part of the spirit. And that has to awaken and be released in our lives. And then you live a whole different life. You literally feel things flow, and everything is arranged beautifully. You meet just the right people, people that you're meant to influence and to help. It's grace is that's why you see it says Lord Caitanya's amazing grace place. Because it is. It's amazing to live a life of grace. Even the word sounds beautiful. Grace, graceful. See, grace, it's graceful. Not hard, not difficult. It's like going back into the Garden of Eden, and you're living in a very close relationship with Source or God or Christ or Krishna, whatever you want to call that. But it's wonderful, that closeness is what we're. This is why people are looking for it outside, but actually it's really inside. You find that, and you realize, this is what I've been looking for in something, in money, in this or that, or this person or that person, but it never quite works out perfectly. But this one, when you get this, it does. This is you found home, you found grace, you found spirit, you found out who you are. You found out who your eternal relationship is. That's it. That's success. Yeah. That's what we do here. It's all about that. And then your life, in your regular life, becomes beautiful. One of grace in it. It's very attractive. I feel like I'm just beginning. And it's just getting better and better and better and more amazing. Yeah, and it goes on forever. Yeah, yeah, just you could see it's a forever thing because I haven't stopped. I've been giving these classes since I've been teaching what people have been coming. Actually, I've been doing 25 years, these classes.
Wow.
But where people have been actually coming and staying, it's been 5 years. And most of us never miss a day. Most of the way you watch the replays, there's so much spirit and life and the grace in it. It's like, God, I wouldn't miss even a moment. You feel like when I come in the morning and I just turn the camera on and start chanting, I just feel this divine energy come, man. And it's just amazing, and I just look so much forward. It gets me out of, you gotta have something to get out of bed for.
Absolutely.
This really is every day, man. Just yeah. So can you imagine doing something like this, teaching 365 days a year, multiple times, hours and hours, and you just want to do more and more. Boring. The chanting the name is never boring. It's more deeper,
Yeah. I feel that way. I look forward to the moment that I will meet you.
Really?
Yes, I'm always arranging my day, so I for sure will meet you. You see that I write to you 1,000 times a day, like to schedule, but I will not miss it. I look forward to it.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's just what we do here. Even on the cameras, everybody that comes regularly, they all look forward. Sometimes one time if I start late or something, they start calling me. Are you okay? Well, just I overslept. Oversleeping for me here is like if I sleep till 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's oversleeping.
Yeah. It's amazing. I do look forward to this time because I get the whole drama of the day is gone. So relaxed. Nothing matters and whatever. I feel like that after the chanting.
Calmer and energized.
Yeah.
You look different from when you came in. This is face.
It
looks like
amazing.
Child.
It's amazing. I look forward every day to do this. And when I don't, there was one day that I wasn't there too, and I felt like guilty. No, it can't happen. Can't happen again. That's what I feel like.
All right, go ahead. It's interesting.
Interesting.
If one neglects his good chance, it should be known that he is simply committing suicide.
And not materially, but spiritually. Because that's, it's like if you don't have this knowledge and you go through your whole life and not awakening your spirit, it's like you live really not for, what did you live for? Right? Family. I mean, we how many lifetimes we've done? Family, friends, money, and then the next life, family, friends, money, and next life, family, friends, money, and sense enjoyment, or, living, burning. This is so bodily, material bodily. It has nothing really to do with the spirit yet. The spirit isn't awakened. So ultimately, like the next chapter goes into spiritual master. You meet a spiritual master and they start to give you knowledge to awaken the spirit and teach you all about the ways of the spirit. And then now your life is really, you start to feel, I literally start to feel this is productive now. This is real life, man. It's practical. It becomes substantial. The spirit actually is more substantial than anything in our lives, but it's so subtle that if it's not awakened or developed, it seems like it doesn't even exist. But once it's awakened and developed, it becomes like really substantial, like a real important substance in your life. Yeah. And start spilling up, where people start to hear, like he says, I look for you to come in. It's only because of spirit. It's just spirit, Yeah. Because most of us we're associating with people that haven't even been awakened yet. So it's heavy, it's more, when they talk about the world and worldly things and money and this and So this is refreshing. It's like, to the soul, awakening. It's the funniest dog.
I know, but she behaved really well. She got a shot.
Did she bark or anything?
No. She didn't. She doesn't feel it because she has a lot of extra skin.
Stuff.
So they put and she doesn't even feel it.
Oh, really?
It's amazing because of all the extra skin that she has.
Skin.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
There is certainly a good deal of comfort in the first-class coach of a train, but if the train does not move forward its destination, what's the benefit of an air-conditioned compartment?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think
good.
we read this.
Contemporary civilization is much too concerned with making the material body comfortable. No one has information on the real destination of life, which is to go back to Godhead.
Yeah, and you can feel it. You don't have to go anywhere, really. It's just making it manifest, making spirit manifest in your life, making it real. See, otherwise, like it says, you're sitting in the coach and that's air conditioned and everything, and then you die. But that's all you got, man, and just, that's why, it's just like people, they think they're wealthy, and people, they pray, oh, Bill Gates or Trump, they're so wealthy. Oh, they're so great people because and that's not the real wealth at all. Matter of fact, that's often a hindrance for people that have too much wealth. They get overly concerned about it, and they want more and more. That's why, when you get $1 billion, why do you need another billion? But they do it. They go for 1 billion. They go on another billion. Now they want to be the one with the most billions. They want to buy Twitters, with 44 billion. So because it's a rush. It got to be a rush for the guy to think, well, hey, if I buy Twitter, then who buys Twitter? It's just a kind of like, wow, and everybody goes, oh, Elon, you bought Twitter. People think that is admirable. Well, they don't know what spirit is. What's really admirable, somebody has a spiritual body that's awakened. That's admirable, because if you associate with them, yours can awaken very easily, because you're like a battery that has a charge. Most people are running on dead batteries. If that's all you got are billions of dollars, like say Bill Gates or somebody, and your battery's still dead. You got no real life. Real life is a spirit. But if you associate with the person that spirit is awakened, your battery is charged again. It jumped. The spark jumps. Now your battery comes to life. Now you got some wealth. See, and you just keep cultivating that, and your spirit wealth becomes more and more and more tangible, more making your life better on all levels, even physically. Physically, you'll be healthier, money will come, life will be easier. Yeah, go ahead.
We must not just remain seated in a comfortable compartment. We should see whether or not our vehicle is moving towards its real destination. There is no ultimate benefit in making the material body comfortable at the expense of forgetting the prime necessity of life, which is to regain our lost spiritual identity. The boat of human life is constructed in such a way that it must move towards a spiritual destination.
You see, lost spiritual identity, right? You lose some. Say if you lose your keys, and somebody knows where your keys are, right? And they can tell, if you don't know where your keys are, you're looking all over for your keys, you don't know. And the person knows where your keys are, say, hey, your keys are right over there. They point over there. They, oh, great, thank you. You go right over there real fast, right, to get your keys. Same thing with the spirit. You gotta, if you find somebody who knows where your spirit is because they found their spirit, your spirit and their spirit is basically the same. They say, oh, you're looking for who you really are? What's really valuable, real wealth? Oh, look over here. And you go right to it. See, that's this work. That's spiritual master. That's Big Brother. Spirit Big Brother, not that other one. Watch out for that one. Yeah, that one will, try to take all you because they're afraid, take all you're a resource to them. They're a battery for them, like the Matrix. That's all you are. See, the battery to a spirit person is spirit, man. They don't need your spirit. Usually people, you can't really add to them anything. Their spirit there is the source. Their battery is right there. I just plug into the source. We're all energy, like Tesla was trying to teach, and then they take his stuff away. They go and they steal his inventions and hide it. Yeah, because he had free energy and stuff like that. Because you can't make money on that and everything. Yeah, it's threatened. But this is also like that. It's the spirit is the source of unlimited energy and life and happiness and any good thing you can think about. And it's even better because it's transcendental to the good energy in this world. The spirit energy comes from outside this universe. That's why it's outside it, but for a person to realize that it's inside. See? And it's kind of a paradoxical thing, because what's outside is what people think is inside. They're all looking outside, and they make that inside. They're outside, and they make inside. See, the realized soul makes the spirit that's inside. See, it brings it out, and so that people can recognize it. Yeah. So anyway, that's what it's all about. I mean, here, we're teaching wealth building here. People charge you for courses, to make millions of dollars and all that. Oh, they want big bucks, to learn anything, even crypto. Oh, you want to learn crypto? They pay big dollars and all that stuff. And here, why should I charge anything? Because I have unlimited tap. See, why do I need to worry about this thing? Everything just magnetized and comes.
Amazing.
They teach people. Then you can be like that too. That's the whole thing. I like to make wealthy people. To me, this is wealth. This other stuff, all people do is they get too much of the wealth, they become corrupted. You notice? They get a position in government, they become corrupted. They get in religion, they become corrupted. Simply because they're not in truth. When you're really in truth and you're really in spirit, you live your life by spirit, there's no reason to be corrupted. Because you've got you have basically the mind of source. Basically, what's on. You become on the page of God. Start thinking like the Lord. Do you think the Lord thinks like most people do? Thinks like a miser and all that stuff? He's unlimitedly. Look, he gives to everybody. He gives to the demons, good people and bad people. He gives them all air to breathe. Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Like you become like that. Yeah, give gifts to everybody, and make everybody happy. Make the misers happy. Make the good-hearted people happy. Make everybody happy. Just like you start thinking like the Lord thinks. Wouldn't it be nice? Then you become actually for everybody. I love that, man. No hate in your heart, man. I just, sometimes I use Bill Gates and these demons for preaching. I don't hate them. I want to help them. I'd love to help them. I like to help them because they in their own way, they want to help the world. They really do. They think they're helping the world by doing what they do. But that's not really very effective. This is effective. This will make everybody. It's a win-win, not win-lose. We win. We elites win, and you guys are peons and slaves for us. You lose. You have to lose because somebody's got to win. That's very animalistic, actually. Very survival oriented. That's why you see people, they're looking for safety, and the people say, ooh, they get you all riled up in fear. Fear, this invisible thing is going to get you, man, the COVID. It's just, and they drum it up and they accentuate it, and that the PCR test was the perfect thing, man, because they can magnify the thing. Even the guy who made that's amazing. Nobody studies this, but the guy who made the PCR test said this is not to diagnose anything. It's just to magnify. It just magnifies. You can see. It's like the cosmos. You can see anything you want to see in it. And the demons thought, "Ooh, this is great. This this is
And they
fantastic.
make so much
And then
money.
they
And they're still
magnify.
making it.
Yeah, still making it out there.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
they
gonna go
magnify
anywhere
it,
without
and then they can
VCR.
control it because they can make it magnified to make a pandemic, and then they can demagnify it when they want to. People get too riled up or something because you got to control everything. You got to magnify it up or down. That's why in 2019, right before they broke out this thing, the guy just happened to die. A really healthy guy, used to surf and everything.
Qué bárbaro.
You didn't know that guy. Yeah. You should do research on everything, the PR, CR,
Oh,
where it
that
all
I know,
comes.
but I've not heard about the surfer guy.
Oh, yeah, he was a surfer. Surfers. Yeah, surfer, good
And they
health.
killed
Everything.
him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because they.
People say YouTube, they're gonna put it down.
So my videos are so long that
Sí, they don't
who
take
knows?
notice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they do. So
Yeah, whatever.
truth is truth.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people are sharing things.
Sí.
Yeah. But this is kind of just. I don't spend a lot of time on this stuff, but sometimes it's good to see a little bit. I mean, because people, they're being manipulated and controlled like this, and it's ridiculous actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what's happening, and there's it's just what's happening. It's this Kali Yuga time, There's going to be a lot of people that are going to not make it. They already did their little things, and they're doing more and more.
Then something new is gonna come up. Because this is gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
all
well,
of
hey,
something.
it's all, that's the thing. When you start to go deep into this, you start to see where the ultimate intention is the new world order is not like what these persons are thinking it is. See, they're thinking it's going to be a new world order where it's dystopian and the elites are going to be in charge and everybody's going to live in smart cities in little cubicles and be like batteries and resources for them. That's the vision. I mean, of course, they don't tell you that openly. You have to do some research, but people are so dumbed down from all the fluoride they drank or something, they can't do it. Somehow I escaped all that, and so, yeah. So what was my point? I forgot.
I don't know what. When I said they're gonna create something new.
Oh yeah, the New World Order. Yeah. So the New World Order is basically what we're teaching here. This unlimited energy. It's everything ordered organically. You don't need anybody to tell you what to do and how to, when to do it. That's what they wanted. This big brother out there wants to control everything, even what's in your body and everything. They want access to everything. This is very demoniac. Very. It's not. Anyway, they're working towards a new world order by destroying the old one, so they can do that. But ultimately, God wins.
Yeah.
See, whatever you want to call God, the source wins because we're like cells in this huge organism. And it's always working towards health, just like the body is naturally working. If you leave it alone, it works towards health. If you trust nature, and so it moves towards health. And so that's where everything is going towards health. And we can't get out of the plan of the source. We're all locked into it. Even though in the short term, it seems different. In the short term, it's like you're in this drama, in the drama, and this is happening now, and the elites are coming down on us and taking our freedoms away, and but ultimately, it's working towards more freedom.
Yeah.
Because we're spirit, man. That's you can't suppress. You can suppress the spirit for a while, but ultimately, it wins. Yeah. Yeah, a little more.
You want more light?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
The boat of human life is constructed in such a way that it must move towards a spiritual destination. Unfortunately, this body is anchored to mundane consciousness by 5 strong chains, which are 1, attachment of the material body due to ignorance of spiritual facts. 2, attachment to kinsmen due to bodily relations. 3, attachment to the land of birth and to material possessions such as a house, furniture, estates, property, business, papers, etc. 4, attachment to material science, which always remains mysterious for want of spiritual light. And 5, attachment to religious forms and holy rituals without knowing the personality of Godhead or his devotees who make them holy.
Yeah. And that's what we got now, actually, even in religion. Even these people studying these books of his are like that last thing. You know, they don't know where this is all going. Because where it's all going is where our little association is attachment to the personality of Godhead. People coming here doing what we're doing, we're just we have that. This is the special grace here, and you see what they're teaching there, and they're still teaching that is you got to get rid of those attachments first before you can get this.
This is amazing because to me it happened. I had everything. I had the corporates and this and that and that. And suddenly, the last 4 years, I started to lose everything. To the point that I have nothing. I only have a couple of t-shirts. I have nothing. And this is amazing because I went to the having nothing and then meeting you.
Wow.
Remember that we talked about this? Having nothing, just detached from everything. Everything has to go.
Well, sometimes it works like that, where that's grace. Actually, the source knows your heart. Yeah, and sometimes that happens when people start having unlucky things. You know, I've noticed a lot of people coming here. They either like your story, or some people are like River. She's been attached to a machine, literally attached to a machine for 35 years. You know, on dialysis. She's on dialysis 35 years every other day. Yeah, but she's healed already in spirit. I mean, maybe, you know, sin will happen or not. I don't know. But mainly her spirit's healed. I mean, she's an ecstatic devotee. She has all these wonderful things happening. And so the thing is, whatever brings you here, because of this association of ecstatic devotees, you start to get a taste for spirit, attachment, and you become attached to spirit. And then you start letting go of the other stuff. This is the special grace coming since Lord Caitanya was here 550 years ago. If you meet the real line lineage, we teach like this here in the real lineage. Get you attached to the spirit, and then the other stuff just goes down. It makes it easy. Otherwise, it's very hard. They're teaching now, you've got to renounce everything, and then you get spirit. That's very hard. If you go through that list, very hard to, you know, get rid of all that stuff, and you know, and then you just here if you just come and listen and hear and associate with these ecstatic devotees here, you start to get attached to spirit. Your spirit awakens, and you get very enlivened by the spirit and everything, and then you start letting go of the stuff in the way, whatever that is, or not. If it's not in the way, you don't have to let go of it.
To me, they had to rip me everything apart. I wanted me to.
Yeah, that was your way. Yeah.
I really was.
All right, a little more.
Yeah.
These attachments, which anchor the boat of the human body, are explained in detail in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. They are compared to a deeply rooted banyan tree, which is ever increasing its hold on the earth. It is very difficult to uproot such a strong banyan tree, but the Lord recommends the following process. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. So doing, one must seek the place that which, having once gone, one never returns, and there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything has begun.
Yeah, you see, that weapon of detachment, see, that's the sannyas way, that's the hard way. That's the way that takes many lifetimes, and nobody's going to do it in this Kali Yuga. Nobody's going to slash away all our attachments and then, work your way up. We need special mercy. And that mercy is here. It came 550 years ago. It was kind of lost sight of, but we're reviving that mercy again. So you slash it, you become detached from identifying with the body by identifying with spirit. And spirit is being given here. You see, the spirit that usually people, they have to work for and really hard and take so many lives. People can get it in this life. They're already, and the testimonies of people coming here show it. You can see people when you start chanting and you start laughing and crying and choking up and everything. That means spirit is taking hold, yawning, a lot of stuff. Yeah, and then you just anything in a way, you just kind of gets naturally molted like a snake molting its skin. Old skin goes natural, very natural. Otherwise, people are doing unnatural things in religions, art of flogging themselves, some of these, they still do that flogging, giving themselves pain and all that stuff. Not necessary. I was in India, and these people were in the holy place going around the mountain, and they take a rock, and they look at the person's, and they look at me, do you see how sincerely I'm worshiping God? And they were sincere about it. I think, they did great austerities and put the rock before them. See, they're trying to renounce their comforts, and just go around this mountain. It takes them about a month, to do it. Like one rock at a time, and then it's raining down and everything. And I'm sitting around watching this, and I'm thinking, if they had this knowledge, it would be so easy, but they don't have it. They have this knowledge that you got to force yourself and everything. If any one of those guys came to me, I could just share stuff with them, and they would just throw those rocks in the water. They don't need them anymore. Put a rock in front of them, all tattered clothes and getting sick and raining. And say, "Oh Lord, you look how sincere I am." You don't have to do it that way, If you have knowledge, So, by good fortune, I have this knowledge. I have this ecstasy. I know I'm spirit, and I help others know their spirit. And that's it. You just need this knowledge. People come here, you get a great advantage. People are going to religion. There are millions of people looking for Krishna, that they're attracted to these books and everything. And then they go to these teachers and gurus now who teach them put the rock in front of them, do the hard thing, the rules, external things and everything. But that's the hard way, that's the long path. But anyway, that's why I'm sharing. Whoever wants, they can come and check it out and see how fantastic this is. This stuff works, and it gets people, it's the shortcut into the kingdom of paradise. Even here, you don't have to go anywhere. Paradise comes to you. I mean, it's amazing, and I feel very privileged to share this with people, because people, what I see, really need stuff like this. They need a way that's practical, especially now. I mean, right now, more people are coming because they don't. What is their option? Everywhere they can't escape. But here, this is the escape. This is the back door. Waken your spirit. They can throw you in the jail cell. They can throw me in the jail cell and say, "Well, we're locking you up." It'll be fine. I mean, okay, fine. I know how to live on spirit. Even if they say, "Okay, you can't eat for 30 days," that's no problem. I mean, I fast regularly for sometimes 30 days. Did it 3 times already. No problem. I get more energy, and I get more classes. Less stuff in the way, don't have to eat, and digest and all that. Just everything, more freedom. Maybe that's enough for tonight. Huh? That's a lot. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead. What?
I like it.
Yeah. It's nice that you like this.
Yeah, I like it a lot. You know that.
I know.
When I torture you all day with messages with spiritual timings. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So we always meet, right?
Yes.
See, very
Yes, of
important.
course, yes, very good.
You cannot miss out on the meeting.
You kept me here another month because you.
Exacto,
Yeah,
gracias.
I was ready. I was
No, no,
ready.
no, 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 no. You're staying. You're staying. Yes.
I was ready. I had my
No, no,
plan to go up to
No,
the
no,
mountain.
no, I
She
was.
says, "No, you can't go."
No, no. Until the end of May, you stay here. It's my birthday. You have
Oh,
to stay.
yeah,
Come on. No?
yeah.
Claro. Lo que van a decir, yes, seguramente.
Janaki was here. All right. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's great, man. Nice.
oh, welcome back, Kitty. Oh, you have a welcome back. That's,
Yeah, we have nice.
yeah,
We have
that
the
is
nicest
so nice,
people. There,
yeah.
man. They just get here.
Yeah.
And everybody's getting more and more purified, and they're looking so beautiful, so effulgent,
Yeah.
really attractive, like really the spirit is attractive when you get it awakened and released. You just become a naturally good person.
Yeah, I agree.
But better than good, it's different. It's,
Yeah, because they're always good.
yeah.
Just
There are a lot of good people, there are a lot of good people in the world, but spirit-filled people, it's like another plane of existence.
yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. All right, everybody. So we'll be seeing you.
Getting late.
It's getting late.
Not for us, or what else.
Oh, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys. 6 p.m. on the dot. Here again.